What is up, everybody? I am Kevin Iole here at UFC Apex, and I am joined by potentially a future world champion, Joshua Van, UFC 317 on Saturday. He is fighting #1 contender, Brandon Royval. I think if he wins that fight, you might be fighting for the championship in the next fight. Welcome. What's your thoughts on Brandon Royval?
He's a great fighter. You know what I mean? He's a well-rounded, but he ain't never fought Joshua Van, so. We're just going to have to see come fight day.
You were taking this fight on incredibly short notice, and this is an amazing opportunity for you in your career, fighting a guy of this caliber with a title fight also on this card. So Pantoja versus Kai Kara France, very likely you could get the winner of this if you beat Brandon Royval. Was there anything that went in your mind where you said, I'm not so sure I want to take this quickly, I'd rather have time to prepare?
Nah, never a second thought. You know, when they called me for Brandon Royval, I was like, hell yeah, I want to fight this guy, you know. So, yeah, after I win this fight, the title is next.
From your standpoint, the loss to Charles Johnson, that seemed like to light a fire under you. You know, everybody loses. MMA is one of those sports where everybody loses. But it seems like after you lost to Charles Johnson, you really got on a roll. What impact did that have? Did that do something to you mentally where you said, I'm better than this and I learned from mistakes?
Yes, definitely. You know, that fight, it was between me and my faith, you know, that going into that fight. And, you know, knowing that now is, you know what I mean, Romans 8:31 say if God is for us, who can be against us, right? So knowing that just gave me confidence going into every fight.
So were you questioning your faith at that point?
Yeah, I did have, you know, like sometime in a fight you talk to yourself and things like that, you know what I mean? It was just between me and my faith.
Do you find the game is more physical or mental?
I think mental.
And why is that?
Because, you know, if, like, it's all in your head, you know, everything you do, not just the fighting games, you know what I mean? If you think you can't do certain things and then you won't be able to do it, you know what I mean? But if you be like, I'm going to do this, and then that's like 70% of a win already, you know?
So how did you process that loss and turn it into such a good streak? Like, what went in your mind? Did you just say to myself, I lost a little bit of what made me the man I am? Is that what it was?
Yes. You know, God gave me everything I have. And at that fight, I pushed him away, you know what I mean? And I got humble for it. And I'm grateful that I lost that fight, you know what I mean? And now it turned me into who I am.
So who gave you this? A little, we see a little...
You see, shout out to my boy, Ray, you know, he got me a piece, JV, and then he got Myanmar, the Fearless, and my favorite Bible verse, what I just told you.
I don't know that there's too many guys that are not even in the top 10 that are walking around with their own personalized swag on.
You know what I mean? Got to.
So let's talk about Royval. His fight with Tatsuro Taira I thought was a fantastic fight. Showed a lot of different aspects to his game. Where do you see him being strongest, and how do you think this fight plays out?
I think his strongest point is his pressure and overwhelming guys and things like that, you know.
You can pop a little bit, right? Do you think that changes things with that punching power?
The punching power, he's a tough guy, you know, he won't change a thing, but my patience and my timing will give him problems, I think.
And last question for you. Fighting on such a big show just so soon after fighting on UFC 316, knowing what is at stake, right? You go into UFC 316, maybe not that much pressure on you, just, you know, you're a young prospect. Now all of a sudden everybody's looking at you. Everybody has expectations. How do you deal with all that?
There's no pressure on me. Pressure is on him.
No pressure on you?
Nah, he's the #1 guys. You know, I'm the young up-and-coming guys. He gave me a chance. Shout out to him. Thank you, Royval, for giving me a chance to fight with you. So, you know, pressure is on him, not me.
When you look at fights, young guys stepping up, John Jones going against Shogun Rua, right? You know, John Jones was a very good fighter going into that fight, but his level, I thought, went up in that fight. Sometimes you raise your level. Do you think we can see that kind of performance by you going into this fight on Saturday?
Definitely. You know what I mean? My goal is to beat him, right? Beat him in his own game, things like that. So we both pressure fighters, and you know what I mean? The greatness of Joshua Van just start.
Well, we shall see. UFC 317, T-Mobile Arena in Las Vegas, Joshua Van against Brandon Royval.